The United Arab Emirates government has finally lifted visa restrictions imposed on Nigerians with immediate effect. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, made this known to State House correspondents, saying the Nigerian government and the UAE authorities have reached an agreement vacating travel restrictions imposed on Nigerians with immediate effect. Now, the UAE imposed the visa ban on Nigeria in October 2022, citing a series of diplomatic disputes that had to do with flight frequency and funds owed to the UAE, among other issues. This morning, Mendis, aviation consultant, and Lukmon Junaid, senior travel shark, TravelTank, both will be talking to us as regards this. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Okay, so I'm going to start with Sean. Finally, after a couple of back and forth, the UAE government lifted visa restrictions on Nigerians with immediate effect, as I said earlier. What actually makes this particularly important and interesting for Nigeria and Nigerians?
Well, I think it's actually a very major development, especially in the travel space. If you look at the figures prior to COVID, so in 2019, there were over 500,000 Nigerians a year who flew between Nigeria and the UAE. That number dropped by over 80% in 2023. Despite the fact that a lot of other markets, in fact, most other markets from Nigeria had recovered. So, there's about 400,000 plus passengers a year who used to be traveling between Nigeria and the UAE who just stopped traveling. So, once again, reintroducing visas, even though the process is a bit onerous, will definitely release some of that demand. And Emirates Airlines is also going to be reintroducing flights to Nigeria from the 1st of October this year. So I think the combination of those two will definitely see the beginning of a resurgence of travel between Nigeria and the UAE, something that was very strong before COVID and, has just completely died out in the last 5 years.
Okay, so Lukmon, what do you think about this? This is like the third time we'll be hearing that the visa ban has been lifted. Of course, the Nigerian government came out to say, oh, it has been lifted, and the UAE authorities said, no, it hadn't been lifted. That was a couple of months ago. But finally, this seems to have been put to bed. The Nigerian government seemed eager than the UAE authorities. So when you look at, the back and forth, and now that it has been ratified, approved, that this particular visa ban has been lifted. How do you feel? What do you think this will mean for Nigeria and, of course, probably trade?
Firstly, it's an exciting news that the visa ban has been lifted, and Nigerians generally are excited, home and abroad, that this is finally put to bed. In the fourth quarter of 2023, President Tinubu traveled on a working visit to the UAE to iron out the issues that arises or put us to the situation where we have the visa ban. But fortunately, that visit did not finalize it immediately, but it's for a beginning of solution, or the driveway to the solution, which we are actually arriving right now. And yesterday, the Minister of Information, Honorable Minister Mohammed Idris, announced that as at 15 yesterday, Nigerians can apply for the UAE visa. But before they apply, they need to put in some document verification, which they provided a website for this. And generally, it appears and shows that actually we are there. And hopefully this will manifest into Nigerians traveling to UAE peacefully, without any harassment and without any negative impact to the Nigerian citizens.
Okay, we'll look at the documentation that was actually mentioned in the information that was handed down by the Minister of Information and Orientation, because there's a clause on it. But then let me quickly take Sean on this. Now, the UAE imposed the visa ban in October 2022, and the authorities cited diplomatic issues, disputes as regards flight frequency, the one that had to do with airpiece, then funds, estimated to about 85 million naira in revenue not being repatriated to the UAE by the Central Bank of Nigeria. So I'd like to find out any inclination as to if the funds owed have been paid, and if both countries are in a better stead diplomatically now.
There definitely is a better state diplomatically, and I think a big reason for that is the change in administration in Nigeria. I think, having talked to people at Emirates, at the time when they made the decision to suspend their flights, their comment was that basically the previous administration in Nigeria had lost all legitimacy in their dealings with Emirates. They continuously made promises, both in terms of, the funds repatriation, which was a lot more than 85 million naira. It was actually closer to $700 million. Also in terms of some of the security issues that the UAE government had raised with the previous administration. There were two actual aspects to the ban. One was a flight ban where they weren't allowing airlines to fly, and one was the visa ban. The visa ban was actually linked to basically the inability of the UAE government to verify identities of some Nigerians involved in criminal activity. And in fact, that has been what has now reopened with this new document verification process, which requires Nigerians to submit their national identity number as a prerequisite to being allowed to apply for a UAE visa. So you have to submit your NIN, your passport, and a few other details, I think a bank statement, a few other things, which are pre-vetted before it is then sent on for a UAE visa. So I think this new administration definitely has shown, over the last few months, the willingness to engage with the UAE authorities and actually do something about it, to make data available to them, to let the fund repatriation, and not like the previous administration or promising to do things and not living up to them. So I think, the credibility of the Nigerian government has definitely increased in the eyes of the UAE. And I think, that is showing itself with these improved diplomatic relations.
All right, Lukmon, of course, you know that Nigerians are one of the most vast travel nationals all over the world. But when we begin to have issues of, some certain elements involved in criminal activities, and we have visa ban restrictions, Nigerians be subjected to strict or stringent rules when it comes to verifying their passport or their documents, up to the point whereby they're being restricted from going to the particular country, definitely it would affect, commerce, business, either personally or the image of the country. So when we continue to have economic and social impact of issues like this cropping up for Nigerians and the country, you're an expert in the industry. How far-reaching do you think situations like this can actually dent the image and, of course, of the business nature, the business environment of a country like Nigeria?
Well, the issue cannot be overflowed, and it's actually not only traced to UAE. We have a little bad eggs among us that have given us bad names, and their actions has actually translated to Nigerians having a negative treatment out there. Hopefully, the new direction and the new process put in place by both governments after the high-level visits and discussions will put to end all these negative, things that Nigerians have done in the past. It will be easy for both governments to actually trace who and who did what and when. Informations of each passengers, of each persons traveling between each countries will be documented, even including their NIN. So it will be easy for both governments to trace who and who traveled at what time and who did what and when. That will put to end all these the negative description or talk about Nigerians not having data. These data will be a solution to identifying who the culprit is in what situation, and hopefully we'll have a final solution to the problem.
Okay, so Sean, now what is important at this point is to see that this particular lifting of the ban would lead to increase in terms of traffic when it comes to trade and travel for both countries, that is Nigeria and the UAE. So what are the potential steps or areas of further cooperation that you think both countries can facilitate between each other? Of course, we know that the resolution is in place, and there's a lot that both countries can benefit from each other, but then we have to be critical and to make sure that we don't go back to where we came from in terms of the situations that led to the visa ban. So when we talk about critical steps that need to be taken, what are the things you would expect these two countries to be facilitating?
No, I think the first impact of this will be seen in terms of business travel. You know, Dubai is a major hub for trade anywhere in the world, and especially for trade to and from Africa. And you know, a lot of Nigerian business people have been shut out of traveling to Dubai over the last few years, and I think that will rebound very quickly. I think tourism will take a little while longer to come in because, you know, the cost of this new document verification service is 640,000 naira. That is not a small thing for, you know, for a family planning to go on holiday if you're paying 640,000 naira. $10 for a 48-hour visa to $250 for a 6-month multiple entry visa. So I think tourism will be a bit slow to respond to this, but I think definitely you'll see business traffic. And you know, Nigeria and the UAE are both big oil producing countries. They've got a lot of historical links. They've got a lot of business ties in that respect. I think you'll see the initial rebound with business traffic initially, and I think tourism may take a little longer to rebound, and I think you'll probably need to see the cost of that document verification service to come down significantly before you really will see tourism reaching up to that same pre-COVID levels of nearly 500,000 passengers traveling between the UAE and Nigeria.
What about Lukmon? What do you think about this? What is strong among these two countries? Just as Sean has mentioned, he talked about oil, the economic potential of these two countries, the cultural heritage or potential of these two countries, and also tourism. So when you look at all these sectors, how well do you think both can thrive and succeed, even as they work harmoniously?
The lifting of the ban will open up a lot of windows to so many people, so many businesses, students, you know, family reunification. Even the common average Nigerians wanting to just travel and have a taste of Dubai, because Dubai is a beautiful place to visit. And for example, for students willing to study in the UAE, this is an open opportunity for them to apply now, and they'll be able to have opportunities to go study in the UAE. Also, for normal average Nigerians willing to travel on either leisure or business trip, it's a wonderful opportunity now, hoping that this will eventually, you know, materialize into Nigerians having direct access into UAE. They'll be able to have fun, enjoy the family time, party, and do all sorts of, you know, have a nice time in the UAE for whatever purpose they are traveling. Likewise, for business travelers, people that have partnership, people that own businesses, because Nigerians have significant investment in the UAE, that will open up, you know, the window for them to do a lot more, and there'll be much more direct foreign investment into Nigeria, which country actually needs at this time, and eventually translate to trade for both countries.
Okay.
Likewise, you know, we have Nigerians working abroad. It's an opportunity for them to, you know, reunify with their family, siblings. They've longed, you know, they are longing to see and have them visit them for 1 or 2 days.
Okay.
So it's a wonderful opportunity for both countries and even the citizens of both countries.
Okay, so Lukmon, you talked about the document verification number a few minutes ago. I'd like to find out, because what we have is that Nigerians are to pay about 640,000 naira to obtain that document. I see Mendis nodding his head, so I'm sure he has knowledge of that too. So I'd like to find out how true that is, because a lot of people don't really know that particular clause.
Well, absolutely, to verify your documents, it is correct that the fee is 640,000 naira exclusive of VAT. So that does not include VAT. You know, we charge, the government here charge VAT, so, and our VAT is 7.5%. So if you're also adding the VAT, you should know that the figure will probably go higher than that. So, well, primarily the fee to do your document verification is 650,000 naira per head.
Okay.
And citizens below the age of 13 do not need the document verification, by the way.
Mendis, your final thoughts?
No, I think, Lukmon has summed it up well. Just one thing I wanted to point out for people who are looking at doing this, the website that was in the official press release was documentverificationhub.com. That is actually incorrect. It is documentverificationhub.ae.
Okay.
So, if you want to submit it, you need to go to documentverificationhub.ae, submit your passport, your NIN, pay the fees, and within 5 days, you get the verification number, which you can then use to apply for a visa. So,
all right. Sean Mendis, aviation consultant, and Lukmon Junaid, senior travel shark, TravelTank. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for talking to us and helping us understand this better.
Thank you.
Thank you.